Hola chicos, Veloz here. Do you ever feel like you're stuck with your Spanish and you just can't seem to get it to the next level? Well, stick around and I'm going to share my personal favorite 8 tips on taking your Spanish to the limit. 2 of them are surprising, so stick around. So at their heart, these 8 tips have to do with getting you excited, exposed, and speaking more Spanish. So let's go. So number 8 is pretty simple, and you've heard it 100 times, but it's so true. You've got to practice a little every day. Just 5 minutes will really make a difference across time. And of course, if you have more time, then that's great too. But just get yourself dedicated and doing this every day. Okay, number 7. Get yourself a couple of modern illustrated kids' books and read them over and over until you've just about got them memorized. Now I know what you're thinking. Boring. Who wants to read kids' books? But I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of really good illustrated kids' books that have adult themes, adult language, common expressions, and interesting stories. And they can be pretty short, so it's not as big of a task as it might sound like. Here are a couple of my favorites. El Blues de los Coyotes. Or La Peor Señora del Mundo. These are really awesome books. You should give this method a chance. Tip number 6, sing along with songs. There's a ton of awesome Latino, Hispanic music out there with great lyrics, great words, interesting phrases, and expressions. And it's such an awesome way to learn. If you like the song and you start singing along and eventually you memorize the song, you're adding to your vocabulary in a way that you're not going to forget easily. Number 5, learn a new expression each week and use it as much as you can. Now just do a Google search on Spanish common expressions, or if you want to be culture specific, maybe Mexican common expressions, and you're going to get a really long list of really cool expressions. Now if you're a little concerned that, this expression that just came up, it seems sort of weird and maybe out of date to me, and I don't want to learn an expression that nobody really says. So just do another internet search on that specific phrase or expression and see how often it comes up and the context that it comes up in. If the expression shows up often in the name of songs or in people's conversations, there's a good chance that you're really picking an expression that's going to be worthwhile learning. Number 4, record yourself. Download a free voice recording application for your cell phone or tablet. Read some little short snippet of Spanish online, record yourself, and play it back. Now, you're probably going to die of laughter the first few times because it sounds so strange to hear your voice, first of all. And secondarily, of course, in a different language, it sounds even stranger. But this is such a great technique. First of all, it gets you comfortable speaking. Second of all, you can sort of listen to yourself critically. Where's my accent weak? Where's my accent strong? Does my pronunciation sound good? Does my pronunciation sound bad? So you can sort of rise to the occasion being your own critic. The other way you can use this technique is you can listen to somebody speaking online and then go back and record that same thing yourself and then listen to you and listen to them. See how they're forming their words and their accent. Then re-record yourself. See if you can get a little closer and a little closer. It won't be any time at all, and your Spanish will really improve using these techniques. Number 3, watch and mimic soap operas in Spanish. There are a ton of them out there on channels like Univision, Galavisión, Telemundo, and they're called novelas or telenovelas. And they're a hoot. Adults talking about very adult topics, using very modern expressions. Often the speaking is not that fast, but when it is, it tends to be clear. Right? And you're going to learn a ton about topics like amor, engaño, traición, sobornos, chantaje. Cool stuff like that, right? My advice is when a character speaks something that you think is cool, repeat it right away as if you're speaking back to him. Pause if you need to, if it's a recorded program. Okay, number 2, and my personal favorite, get emotional. As you practice in private or with friends, you've got to connect strong emotions, even if you're pretending, with the words and phrases you're trying to remember. That will make such a bond in your mind. And you'll be able to remember these words and phrases maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 times easier than if you just drone them over and over and over with no strong emotions connected. I remember a while ago, I kept coming across the word mujeriego. And I'd look it up, and then I'd forget it. And I'd look it up, and I'd forget it. And I got so frustrated, and finally I remembered this technique. And I got together with some friends and we practiced. And my role was to sort of add some anger to this word to try to remember it. And this is sort of how I scripted it. Dígale a ese puto mujeriego que no vuelva a tocar a mi mujer, o lo voy a matar con mis propias manos, güey. And you know what after that? I never forgot mujeriego. And finally, number 1. Get yourself a buddy. Preferably a native. You got to talk to people, right? You just can't practice this stuff in your head, behind closed doors. You've got to have real-life experiences to improve and to cement the stuff in your noggin, right? Verbal Planet is a great website where you can go and get a teacher for really peanuts. You sort of rent them for an hour. You can pick them from whatever culture you want. You can switch among them if you don't like them. You can set a schedule to say, Paco is going to work with me, next Tuesday from 3 to 3:30. And it's one-on-one stuff, and it's awesome. I totally recommend it. Another option is the application called Hello Talk. And that application lets you connect with people, Spanish-speaking people from different cultures. You can text them back and forth. You can do autocorrect of each other's text. You can actually do sort of a video conference or a telephone call using this application as well. And it's a great way to meet other people, practice your Spanish, and usually they want to exchange. They want you to help them a little bit with English, and they'll help you with a little bit with Spanish. And it's a really great way to improve. That's it. Now I know it sounds like a lot, and you're probably overwhelmed, but just do any one of these things I've mentioned, and it will help you so much. And the last thing I would say is you got to love what you're doing. If you love this language and you cherish your desire to learn and grow, you absolutely will. Okay, hasta luego.